The Silver Train Heist. Santiago watched the sun dip behind the Arizona mountains as the train's whistle echoed across the desert. His outlaw gang gathered around the campfire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. "Tomorrow, we strike," Santiago said, his eyes gleaming with anticipation of the silver aboard the train. Vera, once a prison guard, tightened her gun belt, ready for the dangerous heist ahead. The gang had studied the train route for months, knowing every twist, turn, and stop. Santiago believed the silver would secure their future, freeing them from their criminal past. The train would be heavily guarded, but they had planned each step with precision. As dawn broke, the gang mounted their horses and rode toward the tracks, hearts pounding. The desert heat beat down on them, making the ride feel endless as they approached the ambush point. From a rocky ridge, Santiago spotted the approaching train, its iron wheels grinding over the rails. The gang spread out, positioning themselves along the tracks, ready to strike. The train's gleaming silver cars passed below them, its cargo tantalizingly close. Vera fired the first shot, taking out the engineer and sending the train screeching to a halt. Santiago's gang stormed the train, guns blazing as they fought off the guards. The guards were no match for the seasoned outlaws, who quickly overwhelmed them. Santiago kicked open the door of the silver car, his eyes widening at the sight of gleaming bars. But as the gang loaded the silver, a sound came from the next car, a low, menacing growl. Jed, a hulking convict being transported, burst through the door, chains clinking as he moved. The gang froze, realizing the train was carrying more than just silver. Vera raised her gun, but Jed grinned and said, "Let me help, and I'll split the haul." Santiago hesitated, then nodded, knowing they could use the extra muscle against the guards. With Jed's help, they quickly finished loading the silver, but tension simmered between them. As they prepared to leave, a group of prisoners escaped their car, causing chaos on the train. The gang found themselves in a fierce battle, dodging bullets and wild fists from the convicts. Santiago cursed under his breath, realizing their smooth plan had turned into a disaster. Vera fought off a prisoner with a knife, her movements swift and precise. Jed, now free of his chains, brawled with the other convicts, using his strength to subdue them. The gang barely managed to hold their ground as the train rocked with violence. Santiago called for retreat, knowing the longer they stayed, the worse their chances became. They jumped off the train with the silver, their horses waiting in the distance. As they galloped away, the train's remaining guards regrouped and began firing at them. Bullets whizzed past, kicking up dust as the gang sped into the open desert. Santiago pushed his horse harder, his mind racing as they approached the mountains. Vera looked back, seeing the train shrink in the distance, but something felt wrong. In the chaos, one of the prisoners had escaped and was now chasing them on horseback. Jed spotted the figure and shouted, "We've got company," as the rider gained on them. The gang split up, hoping to lose their pursuer in the maze of canyons ahead. Santiago led them toward a narrow pass, where they could ambush the lone rider. But as they entered the pass, a violent desert storm began to brew on the horizon. The wind picked up, whipping sand and dust into their faces, making it hard to see. The rider was still gaining on them, relentless despite the growing storm. Santiago ordered the gang to stop, readying their guns for a final showdown. As the rider entered the pass, Vera recognized him as a guard from the prison, not a convict. The guard fired first, but the gang's bullets flew true, and he fell from his horse. Just as they thought they were safe, the storm engulfed them, reducing visibility to zero. The silver, packed in saddlebags, became too heavy to carry as the storm intensified. Sand whipped across their faces, stinging their eyes as the wind howled around them. Santiago made the decision to bury the silver, marking the spot with a nearby cactus. The storm raged on, erasing any trace of their tracks as they huddled together for shelter. When the storm finally passed, the desert looked completely different, like another world. The cactus Santiago had marked was gone, swallowed by the shifting sands. Panic set in as the gang realized they had no idea where the silver was buried. They searched for hours, but the desert had erased every sign of their haul. Santiago's frustration grew, knowing they had risked everything for nothing. Vera looked at the vast, empty landscape, understanding that the silver was lost forever. Jed cursed the storm, but deep down, he knew that fate had outplayed them all. The gang rode off into the desert, their dreams of wealth buried beneath the sands. The silver they had fought so hard for now belonged to the desert, lost to time. As they disappeared into the horizon, the desert remained still, holding its secrets.